Hello everyone, welcome to the very first episode of Dimitar's CAD tutorials. If you're working in civil engineering, Groundworks, or just starting with AutoCAD, this is the place for you. In this video, we'll cover what CAD actually is, what AutoCAD does, how the interface looks, and how to set up your workspace so you're ready to draw like a pro. So first, what is CAD? Okay. So first, what is CAD? CAD stands for Computer Aided Design. It's a digital way of drawing things that used to be done on paper, like house layouts, roads, drainage, or even big infrastructure projects. AutoCAD is one of the most widely used CAD programs in civil engineering and construction. We use it to create precise 2D and 3D drawings. Okay, so this is AutoCAD. Let me introduce you to the most important interface parts. So this down here is our command bar or command line. Okay, everything what's happened, okay, is here. So it doesn't matter if you draw a line. AutoCAD use commands to instruct the software what to do. So we draw three lines, and every time when we draw a line is asked to specify next point. So you can see this is where everything is happening in the background. So this is our command line, really important. And then you got your ribbon tabs up here, which again you can access your most usable tools like drawing line, polyline, circle, arc. Okay, so this is line. I can draw a simple line. Polyline, I'm gonna explain later on what is the difference between line and polylines. Circle. Okay, an arc. We're gonna use a 3 points arc, which is start, middle, and end point. Okay, then we got a move, rotate, copy, mirror, stretch, scale commands. So let's go to scale. For example, first it's gonna ask us to select the object. Okay, so I'm gonna select my object. It's gonna ask me from where I wanna start scaling. So let's say from down here from the bottom, and you can see I can scale my object. On some scale, I can scale it. I can make it double. I will press Q. For my scale factor, what I'm gonna do is gonna double the object. Or if I wanna be like halfway of that what it is, back to normal, I'm gonna type 0.5, which is gonna be half of the scale. And there you go, we're back to normal, to initial scale before we scale it up. Now we scale it down back halfway. Okay, the next commonly used tool is gonna be move. If you wanna move a group of objects or a single object, select your objects, press move or type M for move. Okay, then specify your base point from where you want to move a certain objects and move them. Okay, one of the very important things with CAD is if you press enter, you can repeat the last command, which is was move. Okay, so now it's asking me to specify a base point, and I can move everything what I got currently selected. To where I want it. Okay, so this is a move command. Then the next really very useful command in our how can I say it, civils and groundworks is mirror, which is gonna flip your objects, mirror them. Okay, I don't want erase the object. I'm gonna select this one, repeat the command, and then I will just simply mirror the object. Okay, next important command is gonna be trim, so I'm gonna create something like a lines here. Okay, go to trim. What trim is gonna allow me to do is, well, you will think it actually deletes the line, but it doesn't. It trims the line between any intersection. So if that line is intersecting with this one, what it's gonna do is gonna trim only what is in between. Okay, just like that. Okay, it didn't delete the whole object, the whole line. Yeah, it delete only the line by intersection points. But again, this is commands which you're gonna use quite often in future. Commands like, for example, offset. Okay, that is our offset. You can actually use that command by typing just O. Okay, so the first which is coming up in our dynamic input. So this is called dynamic input window. So by pressing O, the first command we see on the top is offset, and that allows us to offset a certain object, well, mainly lines and polylines, to a certain offset distance. So I'm going to type 2 meters, for example. What I'm going to do is going to offset that line to 2 meters. I can create the multiple instances of my line. This is something really, really and constantly in use drawing plots, because with that way we can offset our let's call it perimeter or brickwork, brickwork of the plot of the walls. Okay, offsetting them internally, so you can create your dig line. If you spend a time with any groundworks engineer or housing mainly engineer on site, yeah, creating or marking a model for you for dig, we always give you a dig line or center of the trench line. We call it the dig line. So we start always from the face work, then to the dig line, and then to, if you want to draw your internal walls. But this is again something which I'm going to show in the next tutorial. At the moment, we're just getting familiar with AutoCAD Civils 3D and a normal CAD AutoCAD interface. Okay, then you got your must to know layers. So layers properties, of course, is one of the most important thing up here. Okay, but this is something which I'm gonna explain in the next tutorial, how to work with the layers, what is the current layer. Okay, what exactly current layer does. Well, obviously by the name current layer is gonna allow you to draw any new objects under that layer. Yeah, layers are really good segregating your information. So I've got my, for example, my lines on blue layer. I can switch this one off. I can leave only that concave shape just by leaving that layer on. Okay, I can switch my current layer. So current layer activates the, let's call it your canvas or your specific layer you draw in objects. So I'm going to create something like a circle on a gray layer. I can repeat that many times as I want. And now I can switch the orange layer off and I can turn the blue one on. Okay, so allows me to organize my, how can I say, my drawing environment, and me focus only on the objects which I need to focus. Let's say you got 1,000 objects, 1,000 elements, and let's say 20 layers, and it's gonna be so much overwhelming. Let's say you got the services crossing and roads and all kinds of stuff, and you don't wanna have all that. All you want is your plots layers like internal walls, sorry, external walls, internal walls, your deck. Yeah, only the information which you need will be visible. This is how layers work. You can put everything on different layers, and after that you can import this one to your controller. So controller is your obviously total station ETM's controller, where you can see only a couple of the layers you need in your. You can import your DXF file into your controller only with a couple layers, which makes your life much more easy. Yeah, to set anything on site by just being able to focus only on the information you need, not having hundreds or thousands of objects. I've seen that many times. It makes your kit lagging. Yeah, I've seen people throwing everything on the default AutoCAD layer, which is 0. Usually when you start a new file, this is your default layer is 0. In my case starts with blue because I create my own template, and every time when I start a new file I always start uh, with my layer, for example, being set to whatever I got my template set to be my default layer. Okay, but usually with AutoCAD, when it comes with many layers over here. I'm gonna show you how to clean all them many layers and create your own environment without constantly, every time when you create a new file, you got hundreds of layers over here which you don't use. Yeah, you're gonna have only your few layers you wanna start. I'm gonna show you how to create a template. I'm gonna show you how to work, of course, with paper space. So this again, paper space. You just type. Sorry, I got something switch off, which is my orange layer. This is paper space, which is going to allow you to create as builds with all the information you need given for your client. Uh, you can represent all the information on paper in the correct scale with all the keys, what is going to be, and so on. I don't want to confuse you more. Again, that down here, okay, that drawing area up here, okay, is called model space. That big black space is called model space. Okay, in the top corner you got your UCS icon, which allows you to switch between the different angles, different orientation, but remember the true north. So in your drawing, north is always pointing up. Okay, this is always up, is north, true north. You have to remember that. What else we haven't? This is the status bar. You can see I show my status bar. I got my coordinate system, which is really important for every engineer to be able to see what I can do. Yeah, I can just select one of my lines, come to that little square here, which is represent my points, and if I hover, it's gonna snap automatically to that, and down the bottom I can see what is what my coordinates for that points are. I can see at the moment is 388.804.745. Northeasting 227.273.498 northing. Okay, if you got any level, it's gonna be again down where it's at the moment. It's saying 0.00, which is my I don't know if it's my end or my start point. Let's see. Okay, I just changed the elevation to be 1. Okay, you can see if I hover on that point, start Z of my line, it's saying at the moment I set elevation 1. I don't want to confuse you more, but I just changed the grade to that line by just lifting one end up. Okay, again, these things which we're gonna talk about in the next tutorials. At the moment, I'm showing you the very basics. And you got a text, of course. Text is really important too. Okay, multiple text. What it's gonna do is gonna create a multi-line text. So what is multi-line? You can see this is a multi-line text. Okay, and then you got a single line text, which is obviously only for a single line. So let's type something. It won't let me create a multi-line one object. Okay, is every single of them lines is gonna be, apologize, single text, multiple text, single text. Okay, then we got our selection lasso. For left is green, right is blue. What is the difference? Okay, let's say I'm gonna click once with the mouse. Okay, just clicking, do not hold the button, just click, and now it's gonna let you go to the left or to the right. So to the right, what is the difference? Okay, everything what is inside the blue, okay, is gonna highlight, which is mean you can add it to your selection. Okay, so you can see in my case I can pick up only that circle, or that one and the next one and the next one and the next one, so I can select them all together like that. Or I can click and pull to the left when it's gonna be green. So what the green does, everything what it touches is getting selected. And there you go. So blue, red, everything what is selects. Okay, green, blue. You can see selecting, because I can't cover my whole writings with the blue one. Is selecting only the smaller elements inside. So this is something you can play, and of course I can hold my mouse button and draw around if I want to select something. If I press escape, I'm clearing my selection, so I got currently nothing in my selection. If I hold the button and start drawing to the left, everything what the green touch, okay, is gonna be selected with my selection lasso. And if I keep holding my left button and start pressing space on my keyboard, you will see the selection cycle is changing my selection method. So I can switch between blue, okay, green, and this one is literally just a line which is whatever the line is touching. And there you go. And up here is my selection properties, so I can see what is selected all together. Okay, I can click to the different objects. So I got a line, 11 lines selected. Okay, I got mtext, which is only one circle, 4 circles. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and a text, which is single lines, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 objects of type text. And we got measuring tools, quick measuring tools. For example, let me show you how that's work. I just want to draw a simple rectangle, which is going to be of size, let's say 20. I'm going to tap. I'm going to press tab so I can switch to the different elevation, west and east elevations. Sorry, width. Let's call it a height and width. So let's go 20 again, which is a perfect square. You can see now perfect square. I can check the measurements using the quick measurements, and then we got 20 by 20, and you can see them little squares. This indicates we are a perfect 90 degrees, a perfect angle of 90 degrees. If I change that corner just a little bit, it's going to change obviously that angle, and that angle. It won't be a square anymore. So if I go to quick, and you will see something is wrong with our angles. They are not anymore 90 degrees. This one on top is 97, this one is 90 degrees, this one is 100, and this one is 71 degrees. Okay, and of course you can see the measurements. Okay, there you go. You can use the distance measuring tool. You have to be careful with it. It works if we have a 3D distance somewhere. It's gonna, if let's say this one is a 3D line, for example, draw a line which I'm gonna call 10 meters. This is a 10 meters line. Okay, if I go to my measure my distance tool and go and check, it say 10 meters. Okay, but then if I change my NZ to be 10 meters down like that, so at the moment you don't see anything change, because what I done is I changed my line to going from 0 to 10 meters up. Okay, you don't see that on the 2D canvas, but it's actually there. And now if I go to my distance tool and click on that end and that end, okay, my distance now indicates is 14 meters, which is wrong. So do not use distance if you work with the 3D data. If you have a 3D line, do not use distance. Use your alignment, so creates an aligning linear dimensions. Okay, so I'm gonna click now in this end and that end, and it show me it's exactly 10 meters. Okay, so this is your dimension tool. If you want to measure your dimensions precise, use align dimensions tool. You can use linear as well, but the line is linear is gonna be more precise if you are 90 degrees locked. Okay, I always use align all the time. And yeah, like what I explained, we already explained pretty much about everything. Probably one of the most important things is your units. If you type units, okay, I'm currently located in UK, so I'm using meters, and I can see my precision is free floating decimal. So we got meter, point, hundreds of millimeters, tens of millimeters, and millimeters. This is our precision, free floating. In my case, you can make it more, you can make it precise down to I don't know how you call it, not macro mill. Macro mill is the next. This is with macro mills, nano mills, and so on and so on. Okay, angles we always use degrees, minutes, seconds. Okay, it doesn't. You can use whatever is easy for you. Decimal degrees if you want. I use degrees, which I'm happy with it. And lighting units, we don't use them. If you have in your CAD literally a freshly installed, I will advise type options, okay, and go to your display. Initially, when you have AutoCAD just installed, you have it under it's not black, okay, it's some different type of, it's more like gray, it's not 100% black, which is make the whole screen slightly fuzzy. So what I usually do, I change my color straight away on every new CAD to be a black. Oops, I think I change it to be on something something else now. Apologize. Let's go back to color. Yeah, usually is that it's not like black. Okay, so I will select it to be a black, and you can see straight away what big difference it's got. It just highlights everything. So pretty much this is the very first tutorial introducing CAD, how AutoCAD is working. Okay, we explain about the two workspaces, a model space and a paper space. We already explained about that. We explained about commands, so I can type L for line, it's going to allow me drawing a line, PL for polyline, which is going to allow me to draw a polyline. Again, I'm going to explain in the next tutorial how to use polylines and lines. And then we got O for offset. Offset, we explain how we work with offset as well. 0.5 offset if I want to create offset lines. We got trim, which trim allows me to trim certain elements from a polyline. All the interceptions. You got fillet as well. What fillet is gonna do? Okay, it's gonna extend them lines. No, sorry, you got extend, which is gonna extend certain lines till they hit another object, to they intersect with another object. So we're gonna type EX for extend, and everything what I touch with my lasso is gonna beam the line until it hits another line. If there is no another line, obviously it won't go anywhere. Let's say I got another line up here, like that, and I type EX for extend. It's gonna extend again till we bring it to the other object, intersect with another line. I can go trim now, and I can trim everything in between. This is the most useful, probably, commands which we usually use for drawing models or plot models. Okay, I'm not quite sure if we miss anything today. Please write in the comments if you want to know something particular regarding the basics of AutoCAD, how certain tools work, and I will try to create a tutorial for you. So in the next tutorial we're going to learn more about layers, how to create objects on them layers. Okay, we're going to learn how to organize our models a bit more. So yeah, we're gonna pretty much learn how to draw our house types layouts. Okay, creating our templates for our house types, and we can actually go through how to align them to certain coordinates. I hope you enjoyed the today's tutorial, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Thank you.